Oh, oh, a little drink here. Oh.
What's on your glass?
The big Bournemouth Beer Festival.
How was it?
I did not go, but because I worked for the organisation that arranged this thing, we got free glasses, which are really, really cool.
Ooh,
Actually,
someone's doing
it's
well.
always nice having a pint glass. Anyway, hello and welcome to episode 198 of Heroes of Handheld, the world's premium podcast dedicated to everything handheld gaming. We like to talk about devices such as 3DSs, 2DSs, PlayStation Vitas, Apple Watches, what else? The iOS, Android, what's the latest Android operating system, like Jam Sandwich or something? It's something along those lines, like Candy Shop.
Isn't it like we're quite far in, aren't we? Isn't it like popcorn or something?
Something like that. It's some sort of like candy shop item. What else? Nintendo Switch, of course, the newest boy, the newest addition to our collection. So good. I'm Colin. I'm one of your hosts. I've got a Colin branded coaster here. So you know I mean business. I'm joined by the man up in London Town, sitting atop the walkie-talkie building. It's Mr. Pearson.
Me. That's me. That's Chris.
What quality of webcam are you on this week? Is it the good quality or are you on the bad quality?
Can you not tell?
Not gonna lie, there's not much difference between the two.
I've dragged it all the way down to very low, baby.
Well, it actually, okay, put it on very high. The high setting quickly. I want to see the difference.
This is auto HD. So that's also HD.
That's HD.
You can go medium, low.
Oh, great.
Very low. Very low is the one, I think.
So the only thing that's different is the lower the quality, the more zoomed in it becomes.
Super resolution, isn't it?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Anyway, Chris, how the devil have you been?
I've been really good, thanks, Colin. We've had a funny week trying to organise this podcast, haven't we? Because it wasn't going to happen, and then it was going to happen, and then it turns out it was going to happen on a Wednesday as normal.
I know. It was Thursdays. We were thinking, were we going to have to do it on a Saturday? Were we going to have to sell our bodies on the streets? I don't know. It was all over the place, wasn't it? It was. But now we're back where we belong on the Wednesday evening. It was meant to be. This is the day. This is the Heroes of Handheld day. I don't know if Wednesdays. I don't know if Wednesdays always been our day. Was there other days we used to record on back in the early years?
I think it started at uni. I think it must have been two of our timetables.
Yeah, there is a video somewhere where we were about to record a podcast and we're dancing to Mary Poppins for some reason.
Oh yeah,
that was a weird one. Yeah. Don't know what happened there. That's a bit of a crazy day. Good time. So it's Wednesday. It's Heroes of Handheld time. So before we do anything, when we recorded last week, obviously the main talking point was the whole EA Battlefront 2 conspiracy or not conspiracy or controversy. And pretty much a few hours after our podcast went live, EA came out with a statement saying, just going to summarize here, that the microtransactions would be removed from the game temporarily. So, what does this say? What did this say? Obviously, the internet didn't react too well to this because obviously the big thing is that it was not going to be removed forever. It's going to come back at some point. But it's interesting. When will these microtransactions come back in? When will the ability to buy crystals for loot crates come back into effect? Will it be after Christmas, once the game's been bought for Christmas presents? Will it be January? Will it be February? When's it going to be?
It's interesting, isn't it? I wonder whether it'll be in a couple of months' time, like when it started to dip in terms of population playing it. Maybe then. But did you see the rumor that obviously no one quite knows the reason why they cut it. There's obviously been a lot of fan feedback, but rumors circulated last week that it's because the Disney CEO Bob Iger got involved.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Which is quite, I mean, fair play for Disney putting the kibosh on this, but I mean that'd be huge if true, wouldn't it?
They are pretty much the only company that could have stepped in to make this happen, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's one of their IPs now. Obviously, they own the rights to Star Wars, and Disney are notorious for not wanting bad press on any of their properties. Did you just comb your hair?
Yeah, I noticed it was looking a bit fluffy, so I just gave it a comb.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot. That's great. So it's not a surprise, really. I mean, a lot of people are talking about it on Reddit. Like the only way that EA would change their stance on, the bar pay to win sort of model is if Disney stepped in, and it seems like they did. Hopefully, it is true, because as I said, Disney don't like anyone bad mouthing their properties. If there's any negative press, that's a no go. And basically, if you mess with the mouse and any of his friends, you're not going to see the light of day ever again. They're going to come into your house. It's going to be a bit like Stranger Things. They're going to come into your house, they're going to inject you, and then they're going to pretend you're a junkie. That's what's going to happen. Do you like the Stranger Things
No,
references?
I've not watched it, so I don't really know what it was.
Oh, you're one of those types, are you? But no, it's good. I hope this is true. I mean, I'm wearing the mouse now, so big ups to my boy Mick. Yeah, he obviously had a word with them because he's obviously the CEO of Disney, Mickey Mouse.
Obviously.
Still going strong at the age of I think he's 89 now. It was Mickey Mouse's birthday about a week ago. 89. Hey, King, do you see my little post on Instagram?
Well, hang on. That can't be true because he wasn't. If he's 89,
Yeah.
the first time we saw him in Steamboat Willie, he was already an adult because he was driving a boat.
Well, he is a mouse, so years don't affect my.
That's true. They get to adulthood a lot quicker.
Oh no, I'm wrong. Oh no, he is 89. Yeah, his birthday was the 18th, so a couple of days ago, 4 days ago, and he turned 89 because he first appeared in 1928 on the screen of the Colony Theatre in New York City, and it was obviously, as you know, Steamboat Willie was his very first appearance.
Classic.
What do you reckon Disney will do for his 100th birthday?
Reboot.
It wouldn't be a mouse. It'll be like I don't know.
Gerbil.
I was going to say something controversial then, but yeah, probably a gerbil. That'd be good. Right, so let's move on. What should we talk about first? Can we talk about this game that came out? I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I know you've mentioned it briefly. Well, not briefly. You've spoken about it quite a lot over the past few weeks. The mobile game, based on the game Animal Crossing. Give me some information, Chris.
So, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp was meant to come out today, but actually came out a day early. I'm not quite sure why, but it's kind of weird because I was expecting us to do this podcast and it not to be out over here yet, but actually we've had like a full day to play it. I've been playing it, Colin. You've been playing it a little.
Yes. I'm actually really enjoying it. I've never played an Animal Crossing game before. I sort of had an idea of the sort of gameplay and what it'd be like because of what you've said and videos and things like that. It's just one of those games that's just universally loved because it's just such a nice game to play.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
So if people aren't aware yet, it's free to download, and then there's microtransactions within. You have to, there's a kind of currency you can buy, but so far I've not had to buy any of that currency. You can basically you run your own campsite. You invite different villagers from the Animal Crossing kind of canon in, and then you can go to other places as well. So there's like a fishing bit and a bug catching bit and a fruit forest and all sorts of kind of places to gather resources. There's also a friends element of it as well. So me and Colin have just made friends.
No, we're trying to really figure out the social element of it, really, because you were in my camp. And I went back to my camp as well, and I could not see you. So I don't know how it's working. I mean, there was one instance. I went to the place where the river is, where you can fish. I don't know what that. I can see what it's called. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, I was there, and there was actually a character standing there. I tapped on them, and it was in some the name was some Japanese name.
Yeah.
So that's obviously another player. So obviously other players can appear in your games, but I don't know how it is, if it's random or. Yeah, it's a bit, it works.
Well, it doesn't seem to be very clear because what I can only assume is that as you get more real life friends in the game, you'll then be able to then they'll probably be replaced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the moment, like you say, if I run around my camp, I can see people who I have no idea who they are, and it clearly is just like a random thing to get you to see different other players because you can't actually do anything with the players apart from go to their campsite and then be like, oh, you've got some great furniture. I would like to order that furniture type thing.
And craft it with my cotton I have.
Yeah. So it's I'm enjoying it so far, but I've not put enough time in. The only thing I would say is I'm slightly averse to the fact you have to always be online if you want to play, which is a little bit frustrating.
Yeah. When you think about it, the fact there doesn't seem to be a major social element at the moment, it seems a bit strange that you have to be online. really. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you
mean,
seem
I
pretty
assume it's
well.
like a piracy or something like that thing, but
Mm,
it just seems a bit. I mean, for me, that's what killed Super Mario Run. So I'm slightly frustrated they brought it in here, but I would say I'm less annoyed on this than I am when was on Super Mario Run, purely because this is a game you check in at all points during the day, so you probably have signal when you want to check in.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it's an interesting game. I'm enjoying it so far, but I mean, I've only given it an hour or two, um,
Yeah. Mm.
and it will be interesting to see how it develops and how quickly you'll get bored of it. I mean, do you remember when Tomo came out and we were all
That was
playing that?
rubbish. That was awful.
Yeah,
That wasn't great. That one. Yeah, we've
and like
had.
we all played that for like a weekend, and then it was like, now what? So I wonder whether Animal Crossing will have legs or not. I imagine it will, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, they messed up. That's another thing. They sort of messed up on the social element of Miitomo, wasn't it? Like there wasn't really much you could
Yeah,
do. You could
it was
make a
quite
room,
difficult to be
or
friends with
yeah,
people.
and it's strange. But wait and see. I mean, I can see myself getting quite addicted to this game because I've unlocked loads of different areas now to explore, and there's loads of like, well, not missions, but loads of side quests, I guess. Obviously, I think the main core point of the game is to build up your campsite, isn't it? And as
Yeah,
many
you
as
you want to
possible.
get a really big campsite so that you can have different furniture, different people coming, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so I can see myself getting pretty sucked into this. But talking of games that are hopefully going to be worldwide phenomenons, I hope this game will kick off. I mean, like, the reason I knew about it come out actually because a lot of people were talking about it on Twitter. So obviously people are interested. Animal Crossing is such a big name, and it's nice to see. I mean, it's a really, from what I'm seeing, it's really well made. It looks great and it plays really well at the moment. Like I've not experienced any issues with it technically. So
Yeah, it's very much got the Nintendo polish. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
definitely. Yeah, I agree with that completely. So let's move on to another game which we would like to play, Pokemon Go. So this is interesting. This Pokemon Go, I think it was yesterday. This I call it press release, I guess, came out where Niantic, the developers of Pokemon Go, have announced a new event that's going to be happening for. I think is it the next week or so? It's obviously it's going over
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah. So
7 days. Yeah.
it's a huge thing, and to be fair to Pokemon Go, they've been really quite talkative this week to the fan base. So this is a new event. It's called
Finally.
Pokemon Go Travel: The Global Catch Challenge.
Yeah.
And the idea is that across the world, we need to catch 3 billion Pokemon, and there'll be a set of bonuses. Now, we've already hit, how many is it we've already hit? Well, I think it's
We're
one
over
point.
500 million. We're over 500
Yeah,
million, aren't we?
on Twitter 19 minutes ago, they put out 1.2 million Pokemon already caught. So, I mean, you would imagine, sorry,
Do you
1.
mean billion? Yeah,
Billion,
billion.
yeah, yeah. So you would imagine, thank you, they're going to get to 3 very quickly. And if they
Oh, yeah.
do, then there'll be a couple of days where Farfetch is available worldwide, Kangaskhan is available in East Asia. Obviously, we've already had that over here. And then there's bonuses for XP, lures, and incense as well.
Yeah. This is really
So,
cool.
yeah,
This is a great idea, I think. It's
yeah, it'll be
more people
interesting to
to it.
see I mean, I can assume it will definitely get to that mark. 3 billion is definitely doable.
Oh
But
yeah.
interestingly, Pokemon Go have also announced this week they are giving a big update on the way that raid battles work. So there was a lot of furore about how to catch. Basically, Mewtwo was only through this kind of weird invite system called an EX raid, and it was notoriously difficult to get and very unreliable. There's now a huge article on the Pokemon Go website all about how EX raid changes are going to work. So EX raids will now happen most commonly at gyms found in parks and also sponsored locations so that everyone can get there. Trainers with a high level gym badge are more likely to be invited to EX raid battles. So if you use certain gyms a lot, you're more likely to get to go there. And if the more raid battles you do, the more likely you are to get an invite as well. And they will battle times for EX raids will take place during like quite popular times at that gym. So I guess if there's one that a lot of people go to after work, that will be when the raids take place. And they've changed also the rewards that you receive from raid battles. So it's gone up a lot in terms of potions and revives, or the quality of the potions has gone up, more golden raspberries, more TMs and stuff like that as well. So it's good to see that they're actually listening to the fan base, because people have been complaining about raids and the raid mechanics for like the last couple of weeks, basically since the legendary tour came out of the dogs. So it's good that they're actually making a bit of a difference.
Yeah, it's good that they're actually adding these new things in. So I'm just looking at. It's a shame that Kangaskhan's not going to be available in Europe. Going back
Well,
to this,
it already is available in Europe.
Is it? Is it really?
Yeah, it moved over. It used to be just, I think, Australia, and then it came to Europe maybe September.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, I need to catch one of those then. Nice. Cool about Farfetch though. But yeah, I'm sure if they've already got to 1.2 billion, I'm sure they'll reach 3 billion in there. I mean, it's only been live since yesterday, isn't it? So it's
yeah, it would
quick.
definitely get there nice and quick.
Or a couple of days ago, actually, it was the 19th. So yeah, it's cool. I like this idea. It's good to have double XP as well. Obviously, it's probably classed as the Thanksgiving event. They always have an event on Thanksgiving. Well, they've had an event on Thanksgiving last year. Do you reckon there'll be another event that will come out during Christmas time? I'm sure there'll be another.
Yeah, I assume that we'll get some Gen 3 stuff during Christmas time.
And another Pokemon with a Santa hat.
Because that's how it happened last time. So
yeah, they released the babies, didn't they? Last time it was the
it was the babies just before Christmas. So
nice. Cool. So that's good. Lots of mobile news this week. Lots of good incentives and reasons to pick up your mobile phone and play some proper games. Chris, as you know, I'm a big fan of the game Spell Spire, which is a real tongue twister. It's from our boys 10 Tons Ltd, one of our favorite developers for handheld devices. A lot of their games came to PlayStation Vita back in the day. I played Spell Spire, must be out early this year. Must have been about summertime I was playing it on my Vita. I absolutely loved it. I was completely addicted to it. I found it really addicting, a really great game. It was a good spin on the spelling game idea, where it was a RPG and also a game where you have to spell as many words as you can. You get a selection of words, but you've also got to defeat demons and skeletons and dragons as well whilst you're doing it. So it was a really cool idea, and I loved it. It worked really well on the PlayStation Vita. I'm interested to hear how it works on the Switch. I imagine this would be more a game you play in the handheld mode rather than docked with a TV.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. So you if you didn't quite get from Colin's explanation there, each level takes place, you get given a series of letters, and then you have to make words out of those letters. The longer the word, the more damage you do to the goblin. So it's kind of like a 2D, it's kind of like a 2D platform, but not really, because you don't do any controlling. You're just spelling words from making anagrams, basically. And it's interesting because this is the first Switch game that I felt really like utilizes the touch screen.
Yeah,
because if you're playing it with the controls, it's quite difficult, but playing it with the touchscreen feels a lot more like how it's meant to be done.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I found with Vita as well. It was really good, really well, good It was a simple concept, wasn't it? But they implemented touchscreen really well. So I bet it's like a lot better with the bigger screen of the Switch, because
I mean, it's hard for me to compare because I never played it on Vita. What I would say is that I find it. I'm not as sold on it as you are, because I find that you basically, obviously, you can't put the same word in the same level more than once. So if you've already scored a point for rat, you can't do rat again. But I just find it's not very smooth, the process of like deleting words, and that really annoys me, because I want to just delete a letter, and it's like, oh, you lost the whole word, and time's ticking, and you're done. So I'm a bit like, I don't know. I kind of feel like the game should run smoother than it does.
Oh, I would say,
but it is a
no. Actually,
I mean, you've not played on Switch.
You just reminded me, actually, I remember saying this actually in my review on this podcast, when it got to the later levels, when there's loads of things going on screen, like you're shooting spells out, there's loads of skeletons, there was actually some frame rate issues on the Vita. That's a good point. I forgot about that. So is it the same on Switch as well, where there's a bit of slowdown?
I've not had that. I've not experienced that so far. But what I guess I just mean is that for a game all about spelling letters with words, or spelling words with letters, it should be that spelling the words out should be a very like simple process,
right?
And I just find it's not very like user friendly. But the actual concept of the game is really good, and is very much one of those ones that like I enjoy playing. I like word games, but it's one where like if if my mum wanted to have a go on the Switch, she loves like a word game, all those ones that you sort of used to get on Facebook. That's kind of on your phone. It is very much that sort of game. So yeah, it has got some good merits about it. I just find it's maybe not as intuitive as it could be.
Hmm. Yeah, well, that's a shame you didn't get into as much as I did. I just found it really addictive, like one of those games where you just wanted to keep on playing. If you didn't beat a level, you just wanted to try
Yeah,
again.
and to
Um,
be fair, what I really like is that if you redo a level, you get a completely new set of letters. So
yeah,
if you struggled, it's like, well, you know, maybe you just got dealt a bad hand. The levels are so quick that it's really simple to just go in and redo it.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I am still glad that 10 tons are making games for handheld
Yeah,
devices,
they
which
are
is all very
whopping
nice.
them out for Switch as well. The whole 10 tons library, it feels like, is coming to Switch.
They've moved their allegiance because they used to be huge supporters of the Vita, but now they've put all their eggs into the Switch basket. And who can blame them? Who can blame them? Right. So, Chris, it is Wednesday, the what is it today? The
22nd.
22nd. So we are 2 days away from Black Friday, the infamous, was not really a holiday, but the infamous event that was born in the US and is being brought over here across the Atlantic to our shores. So, as people will know, Black Friday, I think, isn't it the day after Thanksgiving in America? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
it's
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is Thursday and
Yeah.
Black Friday is Friday. It's called Black Friday because traditionally it's when stores would go from their money being in the red to being in the black.
Okay, there you go. That's why it's called Black Friday. And this means that prices are slashed across the board. Now, over here, we don't have Thanksgiving, so there's no real reason. The only reason to do it is to copy the Americans. So, in a bid to do that, we have got some discounts on gaming devices. Woo! So, I mean, most of the big offers aren't going to be announced until probably late tomorrow, or obviously on Friday itself. I know Game, who are the biggest proprietors of Black Friday in the UK, they're not going to announce theirs till I think it's tomorrow evening. I think it's about 2 years ago now where I queued up at the game store near me and I bought my Xbox One. And
Oh yeah, because you were trying to trade your controller in or something, weren't you?
well, I was trying to trade in my Xbox 360, but they wouldn't accept it because on the joysticks, the it worn off a little bit, and they wouldn't accept it. And
Mm.
I went to this game, then went all the way to another game, and they said the same thing. And we had to walk down this dodgy street at like 10 at night, and yeah, wasn't great. It wasn't the best idea. But anyway, that's when I got my Xbox One because I had a really good deal. I think with my Xbox One, I can't remember how much we paid now, but I got Goat Simulator, obviously. Um, FIFA 16 would have been the one then, and there was another. Oh, it was a Lego game. It was the Lego Superheroes game, Superhero Avengers Lego or something
Yeah.
like that. And I remember when I was in the queue and I was texting you, and I was like, because basically when we're in the queue, there's a huge queue there, massive queue, probably about 100 people plus, 100 plus. They gave leaflets out to everyone listing all the discounts they had, and I was really umming and ahhing between the Xbox One and the PS4.
Oh yeah, you were, weren't you?
Yeah, because there's a really good offer for PS4 of games I really wanted, but then last minute, because I really want the reason I wanted my Xbox was to play Gears of War 4. I've loved Gears of War since it first came out, so I decided to pump for the Xbox One. But that was not a great night, so not good. But you did it online, didn't you? Get your PS4
Yeah,
that night?
I bought my PS4 online, I remember, and they delivered it on the Sunday. And I
Oh,
thought that was just bizarre. And this guy came to the door and was like, "Oh, are you in?" And he was with his kid, and his kid stood at the door whilst the bloke went to the van. And
weird.
I was like, "Oh, maybe it's the PS4 come a day, you know." Because I was like, "Oh, it'll probably come here on Monday. Maybe it's come a day early." And I remember this little kid's face as he just was like, "Yeah, it's the PS4," and he was so excited. And I was like, "Kid, I will not let you down." And
Brilliant.
I got it, and I played Nathan Drake, the Uncharted Collection 1, 2, and 3, and I had GTA 5, which I put like not very much
That was
time
it.
into and traded
That was the
in.
package that I was umming and ahhing over because of those games were so good. Oh, what else did you have? Was it just those two?
Just those two, yeah, yeah, and
That's
a
still pretty
controller.
good, isn't it? That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're on to Black Friday 2017. And as I said, most of the big deals aren't going to come out till tomorrow or Friday, but there are a few pre Black Friday deals that are available. So I've got a few here. This is from the Evening Standard, very nicely. They've listed loads of ones that they have found. We've got a few for the PlayStation 4. So for a PS4 Pro, with FIFA 18, Call of Duty World War II, Fallout 4, and 3 months of PlayStation Plus, which is quite a good bundle there. You can get that for £319.99. Which is, well, the original price was 457.96. You're saving well over 100 quid there, 130 quid pretty much, 140 actually, and that's through Currys. So you can do that online. I don't know whether they have that in store, but you can do it through their website. That's available now. Also, one more from Game. They've got another discount one on their build up to Black Friday, where you can get a PS4 Pro with Destiny 2, the latest COD, GT Sport, and 2 months of Now TV. You get that for 319 again, and that's quite a big saving because the original is 479.96, 150 quid saving there from Game. That's pretty good. It's a shame that PlayStation Plus isn't included on there. I'd much rather have that than the Now TV subscription, which is very random. But a lot of companies do that. They seem to throw. I think that's what I got with my Xbox. Actually, I got like a month of Now TV as well, which is very strange. There you go. Actually, another very good offer here. This is the last one for the PlayStation 4 Pro. This is from Smiths, who I think are a toy shop. SM
Yes,
yes, yeah.
Toy shop, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. So for 300 quid, you can get a PlayStation 4 Pro 1 TB with COD World War II and FIFA 18. So 2 games I would love to have. That's 300 quid, which is pretty good. There's some VR offers here as well. A few offers on the Xbox One. I'll just read off one of these. So for Xbox One, you can get a 500 gigabyte Xbox One S console with Assassin's Creed Origins, Star Wars Battlefront 2, boo, and Now TV for 2 months, and that'll cost you 200 quid. That's really good. 199. But I think this article is obviously wrong because it's saying that the original price was £28.99. That's not right. But 200 quid, you get all those. They get those games, get Now TV, and that's from Game. So you can get that right away. Let's just see if there's another better Xbox One deal here. Oh, Xbox One S, 1 TB with the COD, Forza Horizon 3, 2 months of Now TV, and that's 229.99. It's interesting how much cheaper. Obviously, the Xbox One S is like the slim version of the Xbox One, but for a 1 TB hard drive and those games, that's pretty good. Getting a pretty good console for just over 200 quid with some great games as well. So that's pretty good. So that's good there. Now, in terms of the offers and packages and deals for the other devices, so Nintendo Switch is the one that people are looking out for. There isn't really much about at the moment. I couldn't really find any Switch or any decent Switch discounts, to be honest with you.
I'd be really surprised if they did start discounting the Switch because it's so new, but also it's like sells at the normal price. Like I don't know why they would discount it.
The only thing I can think is they might do a bundle. I think I've said this before. They'll do a bundle with a Switch, but they'll include games, and the discounts will be on the games rather than the console itself.
Yeah, it's possible.
I'd really like that because I do really want the Switch. But there's a couple of Nintendo 2DS and 3DS offers here. So for a 2DS with Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario 3D Land, that would cost you 80 quid, 79.99 from Game, and that's a saving of just 10 quid. So you're not really saving much money at all on that. And another 2DS one, the 2DS XL, the Pokeball edition with Pokemon Ultra Sun. You get that for 169.99. So 170 quid, which is quite steep in my. Well, I don't know. Is that steep? And obviously, Pokemon's a premium game.
Yeah, that's pretty. Given that Pokemon's just come out as well.
Yeah, they're both from Game, but I mean, this article does say that we'll get more offers as we head closer to Black Friday. But the big one I'll be keeping an eye on is Game because they tend to have the biggest discounts on the consoles and the games. So that's going live tomorrow evening. I'll be keeping an eye on that. The only thing that will make me part of my cash is a decent Nintendo Switch bundle. But as Chris said, it doesn't look likely it's going to happen at this stage, so early in its life cycle, before we've even hit Christmas.
I'm really hoping. I think they might put some games out for lower. Like I'm thinking, like maybe sort of switch Skyrim down to 35 quid or something like that.
That'd be good.
Maybe.
Yeah, you'd hope. But wait and see. Right, so Chris, what's happening in the world of Nintendo Switch? Give me some deets.
Well, Colin, let's talk a little bit first of all about some plaudits that the Switch has been receiving because Time magazine have listed their best inventions of 2017, and the Nintendo Switch is one of them on their top 25 list, which
Hmm.
is quite cool. They've written about loads of different things here, but they let me just tell you what they said about the Switch because it is a really nice write-up. A gaming console that lets you play anywhere. Game. The moment of disappointment is when you have to stop playing, says Reggie Fils me. Present Nort, Nintendo of America. So with the Nintendo Switch, you don't have to. In one form, it's a handheld tablet, following a single user to game on the go, allowing, sorry, a single user to game on the go. In another, two controllers slide off from the sides, allowing multiple users to get in on the action. Once they get home, they can slide that tablet into a docking station and continue playing on a legitimate home console. Gamers seem to like the flexibility. Nintendo has sold 7.63 million Switches since its March debut. It's expected to surpass the company's previous console, the Wii U, by the end of the fiscal year. So I just thought it was quite nice that they've put it on the top of their, in their list of the 25 best inventions of 2017. That's quite a,
Well, what else is on
that's
that
quite
list?
a prestigious thing.
What else has been invented this year then?
A football helmet that saves lives, super sustainable crops, fidget spinners.
Fidget spinners.
What
No
else is
way.
on there? Let me just scroll up. You've got wristbands that help babies get a better breathing pattern, a Wi-Fi router that safeguards your smart home. So that it's quite like
It
a
shows
lot
how
of it
highly
is,
regarded it must be if
yeah,
it's in a list of those life-changing things.
yeah, a craft that will go to Mars. It's like quite worthy stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good to know. It's
Well,
good to get more praise and more positivity for the Switch, which is nice.
were
Long
you
may it
watching
continue.
Colin last
When?
week?
When?
Last Friday, were you watching the Golden Joystick Awards hosted at the Bloomsbury Big Top in London by Danny Wallace?
Is this we're reading the nominations? Was this for that, or was that something different for gaming awards?
Uh, no, there's two big ones. So there's the Golden Joystick Awards, which come out before the Game Awards, which are hosted in December. So this is one that I think is user voted. Um,
Okay.
yeah, besides the Critics' Choice Award, the winners were voted by the public, and you can vote online. Whereas the other one, the Game Awards that happens in the States, is done by audience and kind of a panel of people from Games Press. So the best game of the year, the ultimate game of the year, went to Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
What a surprise!
Yeah, some other kind of plaudits here. Nintendo got Studio of the Year. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild got Best Audio. What else did we have Nintendo wins for? Handheld Mobile Game of the Year, Pokemon Sun and Moon. Nintendo Game of the Year, obviously Breath of the Wild. In case you're interested, Xbox Game of the Year was Cuphead. PlayStation Game of the Year was Horizon Zero Dawn. Critics' Choice Award went to Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Most Wanted Game went to Last of Us Part 2. There's other stuff as well. Although it is important to point out that this list was drawn up before Odyssey and all that came out as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think Legend of Zelda would have won though.
Yeah, I mean, I
In my
expect it
opinion.
would have, but it's worth knowing, I guess, that that's probably, that does play a part in it, I think.
The biggest award there has to be the best streamer slash broadcaster to Markiplier. Everyone's favorite to
Apparently,
pick
I
their
know,
streamer.
apparently we didn't win that. What a piss take.
I know, ridiculous, really. I had my speech prepared and everything.
I know.
Really surprised that PewDiePie didn't win after the great year he's had. Anyway.
So that's pretty big. Also in the news, Colin.
Yes.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, Splatoon 2 is bringing a huge update out this Friday. New maps, Mako Mart, new map, Schellendorf Institute, returning old map, the Walleye Warehouse, and Arowana Mall, which is one of my favorites in the first game. A new salmon run stage called Salmonid Smoke Yard. A new game mode for ranked is coming in December called Clam Blitz. 140 new pieces of gear, new hairstyles, no weapons, including the Squeezer and the Gluga Julies, and a see-through umbrella, and the Hydra Splatling, and new battle tunes as well, and a new umbrella weapon. Loads is coming, and I think they've done really well with this because just about the time where people are finishing up with Mario Odyssey and are like, oh, I don't know what game to play, and then suddenly Splatoon is there with this huge free update, and they're like, hey guys, come on back, Come back to the water. It's safe to swim. You got this. Head on back in.
I do like that museum map. That's pretty cool.
It looks dope, doesn't it? The whole levels look
Yeah,
really good. So
very pretty.
yeah, a lot of that comes Friday, and the rest comes out throughout November and December. And finally, Colin,
Yes.
Valkyria Chronicles 4 is coming to Switch. How do you how do you
Yes.
know? Do you know Valkyria Chronicles?
I do not. Please enlighten me about this.
I believe there might have been one on Vita, or it was over on Vita or
Yeah,
PSP.
the name does ring a bell. So there probably was one on there, Vita. But I wasn't paying
Um,
attention.
yeah, so it's coming to Switch. There's an Xbox version and PS4 as well. Nothing listed for PC yet. This is a RPG. It looks quite complicated. There's a 5-minute long trailer which we'll embed on the website. You can watch. It looks kind of steampunk Xenoblade tactical type vibe. I don't really know too much about it. I'm just guessing from the trailer, which doesn't show a lot, but do give it a watch. And if you're interested in Valkyria Chronicles, then keep your eyes peeled because it is coming to Switch.
Nice. Love it when you say those words. There's that
Yeah,
meme where there's a picture of someone a guy whispering, or a girl whispering words into a man's ear, and then the next panel is like an arm covered in goosebumps. So when you tell me this game's coming to Switch, I get goosebumps.
Oh,
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah, it looks.
I just want to quickly mention. Move on. We're done. We're talking about Vita now. Very brief bit of news. So Atalia, Liddy, and Suli gets a new video. So this is coming to Switch and PlayStation Vita. You'll remember many moons ago I played Atalia. Which one did I play? I think Atalia Ayesha Plus I played. RPG where you are an alchemist and you run around and you make potions and you make friends, you go around towns, you do quests. Really fun game. Really very long running series of game. There's so many different games in the series, all featuring different protagonists. So this one's got Lydia and Sully. I think there was one last year that was Lydia. So I don't know if this is the same one or might be a different one. But this game's coming to Switch and PlayStation Vita, and there's just a new video trailer that's come out for it. So it's quite nice because you can see the game playing on a Vita system, which is nice. They've shared quite a lot of information recently regarding it, but it's coming out in Japan on December the 21st. It will come out on Switch, Vita, and PS4 at the same time. I don't know whether this is coming out oh yeah, it is. So the game is coming out in North America and Europe in early 2018 alongside a PC release. So we haven't got that long to wait. So the full name for this is Atalia, Liddy, and Sully, the Alchemists of the Mysterious Paintings. They always have titles like that. I think the one I played was the Alchemist of the Mysterious Book or something. It's something to do with a book, I think. So they always follow the same sort of pattern. But I just want to give a shout out to this game because I really enjoyed the one I played. They're just lovely games. There's a good battle system in them. They're always really well crafted. A lot of depth to them. Characters are cool. Stories are fun. So yeah, this is coming out soon, and we're getting it in the West as well, which is very nice to hear. And Chris can even play it. When we get to January, and he's got the January blues, he'll be whipping this out on his Switch and having a grand old time. Chris,
yeah, I'll definitely play. Sure. It really sounds like my kind of game. Yeah.
When you put the Joy-Con back in, clip it back into the Switch, does yours still make the satisfying click noise?
It does. Yeah. But I know people are complaining about the sort of loss of that noise.
Because that noise that you hear at the beginning of all trailers or videos about the Nintendo Switch, you get that little logo, and yeah, I love that noise, and I just want to know that the Switch makes that exact noise when you clip it in.
And it does a little vibrate as well sometimes.
Oh god, that's literally making me wet. I really do want the Switch so bad, honestly.
Get one on Friday.
Oh man, yeah. Right, yeah. I would. Hey, if you can find me a good one, a good offer, a good price, you send it my way, and I will look into it.
Okay, I'll try.
Thanks very much. Right, so that's literally all the Vita news there is. But I think Chris is still. We tell him not to. We tell him to let it die, but he still wants to talk about the Nintendo 3DS. So, what have you got for us?
Yeah, there is there's not much 3DS news, but then I don't know about you, Colin, but I kind of find that like the news in general around this time of year, there isn't much kind of being announced anymore. Do you know what I mean? like now we're in the run up to Christmas. It's a bit drier for news than it was like back in August.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that does surprise me actually, because on the build, this is probably the biggest time of year for gaming companies and gaming shops and things like that. Obviously, with games being released on the build up to Christmas and obviously Black Friday and things like that. So you'd think there'd be more news, but no, it's the complete opposite. Very strange.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Phenomenon.
Well, the first thing is a reminder that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out last week. We've got a little trailer that shows you some of the highlights of the new features found in the game: Ultra Monsters, Ultra Beasts, and such. I've not played it yet. I might get it after Christmas, but I've kind of got so much to play at the moment that I'm like, yeah, am I going to play it? But it does look dope, to be fair. So we'll embed a little trailer. You can have a watch of that. But the big news, Colin, I
Yeah.
know you love a vote. I know you love democracy.
Yes. Okay, where's this going?
Kirby Battle Royale, which is a game which a lot of people seem to be connecting to. You know, I've not actually played it. There is a vote going on the Kirby Nintendo website to celebrate the 25th year of Kirby, where you can vote in the second and final round. We've already had the first round of this. We reported on it earlier on in the month, on the best Kirby copy ability, and it will be added to the upcoming Kirby Battle Royale game.
That's a very pink website right there.
Very pink. Voting ends on 12th of February. Your options include, I mean, there's loads: Mouse Kirby, Ball Kirby, Needle Kirby,
And the cooking one. That's cute.
Eel Kirby, Yo-Yo Kirby. There's a lot of bollocks on here, but hopefully people will have a favorite that they'll vote for. Chef Kirby, which is obviously iconic from Smash Bros.
He does look a bit like a testicle, doesn't he? So when you say there's a lot of bollock on here, he does look like a ball.
He is a bit testically. So
he's the right color as well. Anyway.
The mirror ability won in the first round, and then this is the second round. So you can vote. We'll embed a link on Heroes Fan website. You can vote once a day, apparently. So do get on that if you feel strongly about Kirby games. And that's all the 3DS news from me.
Why would you select the sleeping one? That's a bit of all these core abilities, like he's cooking.
Yeah.
You've got a sleeping one. Who's going to vote for that? Me, that's who. Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's just kind of cute though. Which Kirby ability would you go for?
Well, let me see them all.
So you've got about 20 to look through. Which is your favorite?
I'll go a bit faster. Sleepy Kirby.
Sleepy Kirby. See, Sleepy Kirby's got a fan over here.
Kirby.
That's weird.
So,
I just voted for that as well. I don't know. I think it might win.
So you say you don't like Sleepy Kirby, but it's just secured 2 votes in the last 3 minutes.
I know. I think it might win. So what would that mean if the sleepy one won? So that would be the ability, would it?
Yeah, so that would be added to the game.
That's so weird. That's such a weird ability. Right. I think we're done. Is that it? Is that your lot?
No, we're not done.
Oh.
We need to do.
Oh yes.
Group chat.
Still need to get a theme song for it. Haven't reworked on that. Right, so it's about Game Boy, isn't it? It's about Game Boy. What's your? What was it again? I need to find it. Where is it?
We wanted to know, Colin. We wanted to know what people's favorite Game Boy memories were, whether it was Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance Micro, Game Boy Advance SP. Phil got in touch on Twitter. You can too by tweeting at Handheld Podcast. So he said that his favorite Game Boy memory is having to link up 2 original Game Boys via cable to play multiplayer Tetris, and also later on when he was at school playing playing Advance Wars on the Game Boy Advance by doing Pass and Play. Pass and Play on Game Boy Advance was so good doing that on Advance Wars. Did you play Advance Wars?
I did not. No.
So it was a military RPG by the people who made Fire Emblem, and it was so good. It was so good. It was turn-based. You had special abilities. You had different units. It was that kind of like, you know, infantry beat tanks, or tanks beat vehicles, vehicles beat infantry, infantry that beat tanks, that sort of thing. It was so good. I loved Advance Wars. So that's a great one from Phil. My Game Boy memory, Colin.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember opening a Game Boy Color on Christmas Day, and that was the best present I've ever got on Christmas Day. And it came with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which was an average game. But on, I think the day after Boxing Day, I went to WH Smith's and bought the last copy they had of Pokemon Gold. And that was it for me. I mean, Pokemon Gold, I ran my battery into the ground repeatedly playing that game. It was like the permanent fixture in my game, but I loved Pokemon Gold so much. And we talked about it on the show before. Like that is the game for me. I wouldn't be the person, like I wouldn't be the gamer I am today if I hadn't put in, 300 plus hours into Pokemon Gold. I loved that game so much. That is the defining memory for me.
I'm amazed there was a Game Boy Color Harry Potter game. That blows my
Yeah,
mind.
it was. You did all your combat by buying. You had to use the cards that came in chocolate frogs.
Ah, right.
Well, no, not all your
Real
combat,
gravity.
but most of your combat. You did spells as well, obviously. It's
I'm
really tough.
just having a look. I've searched Harry Potter Game Boy Color, looking down the images here. I forgot about the. Do you remember the Quidditch World Cup game that was around back in like the early 2000s?
Yeah, was that on the PS1?
Yeah, I think it's the PS2 that was out on. It was on PS2, but there was a Game Boy Advance version as well. I used to really like that game. I completely forgot about that. Bizarre. Well, that's a really cool choice. That's a really good choice, Chris. I like it.
What's yours?
I was a big fan of the Game Boy Advance SP, which I owned. I played it to death, and I've actually still got it. I might even have it here. Bear with.
Bear with.
Bear with.
Bear with, caller.
Bear with. Look, there it is. Look. I can just look at my camera, see if you can see it. My Game Boy Advance SP with all the scratches from all the years of playing it. It's in the back. It still works. Look, it still works. Amazing. So good.
Wow.
Anyway, so the game I used to play quite a few Game Boy games, but the one game I put so many hours into, I don't know whether this will be a surprise. I might have mentioned it before on the show, but it was The Sims Busting Out. Now,
I do remember you talking about this actually a little while ago, though.
Yeah, it wasn't your standard Sims game. There was a story to it. So basically, you took control of this young teenager who had to spend the summer with his uncle who lived on a farm in this remote town. And basically, it starts off, you have to do like side missions, do chores, but then you get to explore this town, you get to meet the inhabitants, and there's so many missions. You realize there's a conspiracy, there's a haunted house, there's like an evil rich overlord guy. You have to do like fun side games. There was a disco. Honestly, it was a massive game. It was such a brilliant game. Like I spent so many hours playing it. There was so much content for the money you paid for the game. It was fantastic. I spent so much on that game in terms of time. It was just so fun, and you could talk to all the characters, and there wasn't really much scope in terms of what you could say to the characters. You had set dialogue options, but you had to make friends with people. You had to make enemies with others, and you could either be basically the talking options came down to being nice, being mean, or being sarcastic. And it was very fun. I absolutely love the game, and I've still got it to this day, and I would easily give it a play again. It really was a lot of fun. Don't be put off by the stereotype of the Sims game. Obviously, the latest Sims came out recently on I can't remember what platform, but the reviews weren't great for it. But it's not like your typical Sims game. There is a story to it. It doesn't really bear any resemblance to the original Sims game. Obviously, you have to make sure your characters showered and rested and eaten and things like that. But the whole story around it was really engaging, really fun. So I definitely recommend, if anyone's still got a Game Boy, play it. Sims Busting Out. It was so fun. And if anyone else out there played it, please let me know, because I can't have been the only one who loved that game. It was so good. Sims Busting Out. And also the sequel to it was The Urbs. That was called The Urbs Sims in the City, which was a sort of a sequel to it. There were some similar characters, but you're a new character. It was a bit weird. But that was really cool. But yeah, great game. That's hands down my favorite memory from my time playing Game Boys. I played a lot of Game Boy Color back in the day. I remember sitting in the back of the car on the way back from a long trip, and wanting to play it, but because there was no backlight, you had to like wait until your Game Boy went under a street light and you can see the screen many a time. But no.
I had a light that fitted. It was like a magnifying / backlight that you clipped it onto the top of the Game Boy, and you could fold it over as a protector, or you could it had like two hinges. If you can see on the webcam, Colin, you imagine my phone is the Game Boy,
yeah,
and then you had this system like this on two hinges, so you could bring it up and bring the magnifying glass over it.
Oh, nice.
Or you could bring it up and have the light shine down on it.
Genius. Absolute genius.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like, I mean, the amount of batteries I used to get through on the Game Boy Color was ridiculous. So much battery.
Oh, I wish I had one of those. Oh yeah, I forgot because of course it was powered by battery, wasn't it? I forgot
Yeah,
about
you couldn't.
that. Oh,
It didn't have like a power adapter, so you had to stick fresh AAs in, which would be like suicide now. Imagine if the DS came out with AA batteries.
oh, that's correct. That seems like that's insane. Imagining like a Nintendo
Yeah.
device powered by battery. That's so cool. I completely forgot about that. I know my Game Boy Advance SP was charged. I don't know when that changed actually. Was it the? It was after the. Maybe it was the DS where that
I think the
changed.
Game Boy Advance you could charge from there.
Yeah, but
Did
no, the DS was after the Advance, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
the DS was afterwards, and the DS you charged from the plugs, but I think the Game Boy Advance might have been plug charged as well.
Yeah, that's when it all changed. Oh boy, what a life, eh? Anyway, what's going to be our topic for next week, Chris? What are we talking about next week? Let's
Should
have
we
a look.
do?
You choose. You be my guest and choose.
I want to talk to you about. I want to talk about first-person shooters, Colin.
Sounds good to
I
me.
want to know what is the most satisfying first-person shooter to play that people have enjoyed.
Sounds good to me. I played my fair share first-person shooters through the years. I actually played Call of Duty World War II for the first time yesterday. It's actually really fun. I played the zombies mode.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, that is a good. I've not played zombies for a couple of iterations of Call of Duty. It's probably Black Ops 3, maybe the last time I played it, or maybe after that. But honestly, it seems to me a complete overhaul of it, and it is really fun, but really intense. Like, there's none of this like building up barriers and getting points. There's none of that. That's all gone. There's no easy. Well, there is easy rounds, but it's really full on. Like, as soon as you're in the game, the zombies are coming at you. Once the wave's done, the next wave starts. It's constant. It's honestly constant. And you have to keep on moving. You have to keep adapting to what's around you. And there's loads of side missions in it as well. You have to power up generators and things like that. The map is beautiful. I played The Last Reich, I think it was called. I think there's some other maps as well. I think there's one other. But it was really cool. Really addictive and some really creepy. The animation and the design of the zombies now really, really creepy. So if you're like staring at one way, like aiming down the barrel, shooting, then suddenly a zombie appears behind you, it does make you jump out your skin. But it was really fun. I played a bit of the online part as well, like normal multiplayer. That seemed fun as well. So I'm probably going to pick that up for Christmas. I'll probably get that as a Christmas gift. Looking forward to getting back into COD. I haven't played COD for a couple of years now, so looking forward to getting back into it.
I've heard that the zombies, there's more of like a horror focus this time around. So it's more scary and like they pop up behind you and stuff.
Yeah, it's good. I think that's what it needs to be, really. I mean, it was always creepy, but it was never like the first few, like probably 1 to 6 rounds. There was never much threat because you could see the zombies coming just up to the window, and then you just board them up and then shoot them, whatever. But now there's not that. They just drop down from anywhere, and they'll appear like behind shot fronts through doors. They'll jump in the map. Honestly, you just don't know where they're going to come from, and it's that like that actually keeps you on your toes and makes it a lot more challenging and a lot more fun. And also David Tennant's in it as well, which is also fun.
Is he?
Yeah, he plays
Cool.
he's got like a flat cap, and he's got his normal Scottish accent, and yeah, he's really cool. And it looks like it's just David Tennant. Honestly, it's him with glasses. Right, so that's it. I think we're done. How can people get in contact with us if they want to, Chris?
Super simple, Colin. Tweets at Handheld Podcast. Email heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. There's a website which is heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com, and you can also find us on Facebook searching Heroes of Handheld. We're all over the place, mate. We've got a monopoly.
I know, just search our name on Google and you'll find us pretty much. So this time next week, Black Friday will be over, but we'll be reporting.
Colin, is there you know where I'm seeing you on Saturday?
Yes.
Is there a game?
Funny you say that. There wasn't until 2 days ago. Now there is one.
Maybe we could go Black Friday. Although the Black Friday deals probably won't be on Saturday, will they?
We can have a look. It's sort of like a pop-up shop because the one at Castle Point shut down a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they've opened up a pop-up one in Bournemouth. So I don't know if it's going to be permanent, but it's a very like makeshift store at the moment. It's a bit strange.
We can have a look on Saturday.
Yes, we'll have a look around there. That'd be mega, mega fun. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, I'm sure. But in the meantime, enjoy playing your handheld gaming devices, and we'll speak to you next week. Goodbye.